Connecting AI agents across enterprise boundaries, yeah, that requires way more than just your basic APIs. It demands a highly specialized delegation architecture. Look, as architects and cloud engineers, we're constantly facing the headache of securely linking disparate systems, right? Well, the Agent2Agent or A2A protocol is absolutely the key to solving this in our current age of generative AI.
So here's our learning path for this explainer. We're going to define the A2A protocol, break down its core architectural concepts, compare it against other modern standards like MCP, see how it stacks up against traditional connectors, and finally look at exactly when to use it. Let's dive right in and define this core standard.
Section 1, the A2A protocol defined. Let's take a look at how this open standard enables real cross-platform delegation, rather than just simple data retrieval. To really wrap our heads around this standard, we've got to recognize that A2A is purpose-built for when your primary agent needs to hand off a complex task to an entirely separate agent, one that actually manages its own reasoning and uses its own tools. Just picture an enterprise, let's call them Fabricum, needing to connect to a shipment tracking agent run by a partner company, Northwind Traders. When Fabricum's Copilot Studio orchestrator connects via A2A, it doesn't just call a simple function. Think about the logic flow here. The orchestrator passes a task delegation over to the external agent. Then, Northwind's agent actually works through the problem using its own logic and sends back a structured, reasoned agent response. It's not just hitting a database, it's literally interpreting partial or delayed tracking data to give you a contextual answer. Pretty cool, right? So let's look at the internal components that actually make this kind of delegation possible. Moving on to Section 2, Core Architectural Concepts. We're going to break down the actual mechanics of delegation and the 4 fundamental components that make this seamless cross-platform communication happen. First up, we have the agent card. These are basically JSON discovery documents, published at a well-known URL path, usually at /.wellknown/agent.json. The really cool operational impact here is that the moment you drop an endpoint URL into Copilot Studio, it automatically grabs this agent card. It uses it to instantly figure out the external agent's identity, what it's built for, and the capabilities it brings to the table. It auto-populates all the connection details. No tedious manual configuration required. It's a real-time saver. Next up, tasks. In the A2A standard, a task is your fundamental unit of work. When your orchestrator delegates to an A2A agent, it's not just firing off a raw query. It sends a task that bundles the user's request with all the necessary context. By delegating this task, you're literally shifting the reasoning workload right across the boundary. The external agent takes that task, processes it totally independently using its own specialized tools, and then fires back the processed response. The third component is context IDs. And honestly, this is where A2A completely outshines traditional stateless integrations. Context IDs maintain conversation continuity across those agent boundaries. You know when a user session spans multiple turns, like when they ask follow-up questions? Well, the context ID links each newly delegated task to that exact same ongoing conversation. This entirely solves the whole stateless API headache, letting the external A2A agent actually look back at earlier turns in the session. It creates a drastically more natural multi-turn interaction. Finally, we've got message content parts. These are the structured payloads that carry the actual meat of each A2A message. We're talking text, tool call results, metadata, even the conversation history right from the orchestrator's session. The main takeaway here is that these structured payloads arm the external agent with the rich operational context it desperately needs to actually get the job done right. It's not just blindly reacting to an isolated prompt, it sees the whole picture. Okay, so now that we've got the internal mechanics down, let's see how this protocol stacks up against some other modern standards. Section 3, A2A versus MCP. Both of these are fantastic modern AI standards, but we really need to examine their architectural boundaries and figure out where the orchestration control actually sits. Let's look at this architectural boundary. The Model Context Protocol, or MCP, is all about controlled orchestration. Your orchestrator connects to tools and data sources that are exposed as MCP servers, but you are the one governing which tools get invoked and how those results are synthesized. Contrast that with A2A's approach, which we call opaque delegation. With A2A, you are literally handing a task over to an independent reasoning engine. The specific tools that external agent uses, totally opaque to you. You just hand off the task and wait for the finalized result. Let's walk through how you actually make this decision, because choosing between these two is absolutely a critical architectural move. You're going to want to go with MCP when you need precise internal data control. Think about grounding your agent's responses in structured database records, where you need to control the reasoning and the weighting. But you choose A2A for cross-organizational collaboration. Especially when it comes to capabilities, A2A allows for dynamic negotiation. So if Northwind Traders updates their agent with new modalities or new tools, your orchestrator adapts dynamically. Zero code changes required on your end. For enterprise maintenance, that is an absolute game changer.
All right, section 4, A2A versus connectors. Moving along, it's really important we clarify this idea of logic over data, because architects frequently confuse agent delegation with your standard HTTP API integrations.
The difference here really just comes down to logic over data. With standard HTTP connectors, you're calling an API endpoint, and what you get back is just raw API data. Your agent then has to do the heavy lifting to decide what to actually do with that data. But with A2A, you're calling an agent, and what comes back is an agent-generated response. You're not just getting basic, uninterpreted database records. You are getting a fully contextualized, reasoned response straight from an external AI. The operational impact of this is huge. Let's think back to our Fabricam and Northwind Trader scenario for a second. If Northwind only had some static tracking database that spit out a basic status record, an HTTP connector would work just fine. But Northwind doesn't just return data, right? Their system uses AI to contextualize shipment events, interpret delays, and give a response that's tailored to the user's specific question. Because that reasoning layer lives on Northwind's side, A2A is absolutely required to capture that value.
Which brings us to section 5, when to use A2A. So how do we synthesize all of this into an actual deployment strategy? Let's check out the decision criteria.
Basically, you should be reaching for A2A when your integration meets these exact criteria. Number 1, the external capability has to be a standalone agent with its own language model and orchestration. Number 2, it's running on a different AI platform. Remember, cross-platform integration is what A2A was built for. Number 3, it's owned by a completely different team or org, which lets you collaborate without having to expose your internal architecture. And finally, number 4, your workflow actually requires multi-turn context. This perfectly sums up why Fabricam absolutely has to use A2A to integrate with Northwind Traders. It lets Fabricam securely delegate tracking queries to a totally distinct, opaque platform, and it does it completely friction-free.
Now, I want to leave you with a critical architectural question to ponder regarding system trust. A2A is incredibly powerful for delegation, no doubt about it. But if you're delegating reasoning to a completely opaque external agent, one that's operated by an entirely different organization, how exactly do you validate the safety and compliance of its response before you pass it back to your user? It's a fascinating challenge of agent security, and honestly, an essential consideration for any architect designing the next generation of interconnected AI.